It's hot in here.
You want me to open a window?
Oh, come on, Walter. Take off the sheet.
Hey, gang. It's Todd and Sunny here, and for our April Fool's review this year, we have Bucket of Blood, or A Bucket of Blood. Roger Corman's first of 3 comedies he made, whereas the follow-up, which was basically a reworking of this film, Little Shop of Horrors, that one was more of just sort of a slapsticky comedy. And then the third, Creature of the Haunted Sea, that was more of a sort of a surreal farce. This one is a black comedy as well as a satire of what was becoming rather prevalent and concerning to some, the Beat generation. It is set mostly in a coffee house, and you might even think it's a little mean-spirited as we go through it towards the Beatniks. It is certainly skewering of pretentious beat artists and their self-importance, as it were. And it contains quite a cast of either at the time becoming Corman regulars or who would become Corman regulars. We have Barbara Morris, who was in The Wasp Woman, that we reviewed some months ago. We also have Anthony Carbone, who continued with appearing in Corman films so through this phase to his transition into the Poe Gothic cycle. We also have Ed Nelson, Bruno Vasoda, as well as Julian Burton, who would also transition into the Gothic phase. Abigail Vale, who would play Seymour's mother in Little Shop of Horrors, and we also have Alex Hasselev, who, though not a Corman regular, would become world famous for one of the founding members of the folk group The Limelighters. Now, along with the script being reworked, a lot of the sets were also reworked for Little Shop of Horrors. Of course, our star is the big Corman collaborator. Appeared probably in more Corman films than any other actor. That is Dick Miller. This is one of 3 starring roles he had. The others being Corman's Rock All Night and War of the Satellites. Some of his other Corman films include Not of This Earth, the aforementioned Little Shop of Horrors, It Conquered the World, and like the others, he transitioned over into the Poe phase with appearances in The Premature Burial and The Terror, and was also in Corman's first biker flick, Wild Angels. He would continue appearing in films for Corman, although not directed. It was part of his new production company, appearing in Piranha, Hollywood Boulevard. Again, has Walter Paisley. He appeared in several films as Walter Paisley, and in some other films as either Walter or Paisley. Some of his other work included Rock and Roll High School, The Howling, The Terminator, one of his more memorable parts as the ill-fated gun shop owner, and the Steven Spielberg segment of The Twilight Zone. And in the 90s, he was a reoccurring character in the show The Flash, where he played a bit of a con man. Now, here, in his first appearance as Walter Paisley, he is a busboy at a cafe called the Yellow Door, run by DeSantis. And here's just a little taste of the start of their satire.
Jake, Jim, Jerk, dead, dead, dead. They were not born. Before they were born, they were not born.
Fun fact, the actor Julian Burton actually wrote all of his own poetry. Hi. And we also learned that two things about Walter. One, he really likes Carla that works there, or hangs out there. Not really quite sure. I think she just hangs out there. And two, nobody takes him seriously.
The rest are just blind fish swimming in a cave of aloneness.
Oh, you must be an artist. And working as a busboy, too.
Feed him that he will be satisfied. The artist is, all others are not.
That's most intriguing.
Is he?
Yeah. Poor Walter. Oh, forgot to mention one actor. An earlier appearance by him.
Hey, say, Walter.
Hi.
Yep. Bert Convy. And he makes eye contact with Ed Nelson. And then we learn of a subplot in this film.
Okay, any hits?
Well, Jerry Sachs looked like he was straight. I'm sure he's on it anyway. Didn't see any pushes around the place. Lou said he'd check out on Jerry. He'll sound him out later if he gets any higher. I guess that's about it.
Undercover cops. Looking for drugs. I think they got inspired by High School Confidential. You know, where Russ Tamblyn goes undercover in high school to crack a big drug operation. Anyways, after Walter's shift and he goes home, we learn something else about Walter. He has no talent.
Come on, be a nose. Be a nose.
Yeah, his desire to be an artist just doesn't seem to be working out for him. Well, earlier we had found that his landlady had lost her cat. He finds the cat behind the wall in his apartment. Oh, I know, the cat. No, I don't think it's going to come back as a zombie. Well, he is distraught. He doesn't know how he's going to tell his landlady. And then an idea hits him.
Walter.
You like it?
What's he got?
Oh, come look at this, Leonard.
Where'd you get that, auction?
I made it.
You made that?
I said I did, didn't I?
Walter, it's very good.
Honest?
Honest.
Yeah, he covered it in clay. No, I don't think it's a good idea. Just go with it. Temperamental. Nothing. Nothing. Well, After some cajoling, DeSantis, DeSantis agrees to put the cat on display, and if the macabre piece sells, Walter will get half. Everybody goes crazy for it.
Within the dark, rich soil of humility, he blossoms as the hope of our nearly sterile century. Beautiful, Maxwell. Bring me an espresso, Walter.
See what I mean about the mean-spiritedness of some of this satire? Anyway, since everybody's just spending all their time congratulating Walter and being buddy-buddy with him, nobody's buying or drinking coffee, so he sends Walter home, where Walter meets a very enthusiastic fan.
It was the most wonderful, wildest, wickiest thing I've ever seen. Walter, you've done something to me. Something deep down inside of my prana.
I have?
Oh, Walter, I want to be with you.
Okay, Walter, you are the man. Unfortunately, he doesn't want to take her home. Says his landlady wouldn't like it. Well, she can't let him go without showing some expression of her appreciation for his art.
Remember me? Put it in your pocket. Now go, Walter. Don't look back. Just go.
Uh-oh. The thing is, Walter has no idea what it is. He thinks it's like headache powder. Medicine used to be in powder form back then. Well, our erstwhile undercover agent Lou follows him home.
Okay, Walter, who's your connection?
Connection?
Yeah, connection. Who do you score from? Where do you buy your horse?
Horse?
Horse, junk, white stuff, heroin.
Is that what that is?
Things go from bad to worse here. See, Lou wants to take Walter downtown. He can explain everything there. Give his story. Walter starts panicking. He doesn't want to go, and Lou pulls his gun.
Do I have to point this at you?
You're gonna shoot me! No! Don't shoot me!
Walter, just relax.
No, you're gonna shoot me!
Now, just relax.
No, don't shoot
Just
me!
shut up, Walter.
No, you're gonna shoot me! Don't shoot!
Hi, keeper.
Well, this is a fine pickle. Walter has also, because of the noise, now has to deal with his landlady who wants to come in. So he has to move quickly.
Look at this pad. It's terrible. When did you ever clean it up? And when did you change these sheets last? They look like they're alive.
Mrs. Swickett, I gotta meet some friends in a little while, and I gotta take a shower, you know?
Well, at least he doesn't have to take her out, too. But he does have a mess to clean up.
We have a title. Yes. We have a title. Yes.
Well, while Walter's taking care of his evidence, his boss accidentally discovers the secret of his sculpting ability. Well, the next day, while the police are looking for their missing officer, and we start seeing more actual, not undercover police hanging out at the coffee shop now, DeSantis decides to have a little fun with Walter, making his little jabs at him. That is, until he learns of a new piece Walter's made.
I got a new one.
Great. What is it?
It's a full-length, life-size figure.
Crazy. What is it called?
Murdered man.
When do we get to see it?
Oh, anytime.
Needless to say, DeSantis is horrified. So he goes to call the police, but he gets interrupted by a prospective buyer of Walter's cat.
But I've been collecting art pieces all over Europe for years, and this boy, Walter Paisley, has got it. I want to buy his first work, and to make very sure that I get it, I'll pay you $500. $500 for the cat and the first look at his next stuff.
Greed takes over his senses. Well, he and Carla accompany Walter back to his apartment where, as we saw in the opening of the review, pretty gruesome. Well, to keep Walter from killing anyone else, he suggests maybe they could not show any of this stuff and make a big show when he's got enough pieces. Of course, that could take quite a while, and maybe he should experiment with freeform because that's the big movement now. And Walter's got some concerns.
I don't want to be a busboy anymore.
Yes, maybe you got a point there. You shouldn't keep working at the Yellow Door.
Look, I'm sure that man is going to buy your dead cat, so here's your fee in advance. $50. And if you need more, I've got it, so don't worry.
So, not only is he kind of encouraging him to continue, he's also shortchanging him. Well, when Walter next comes into the Yellow Door as a customer, everybody's fawning over him, which is great. Until that is figure model Alice shows up.
Night coat.
Oh, let's change the subject. I'm sick of hearing about sculpture. Nobody knows how to do that anymore, much less the busboy from the Yellow Door. Me.
I don't like you.
Nobody asked for your opinion, Walter. You're just a simple little farm boy, and the rest of us are all sophisticated beatnik.
Let's split.
Yeah. And it is here where Walter goes from accidentally taking lives to planning intentionally as he goes to Alice's apartment, asks her to pose for him for her standard fee of $25 an hour. So she goes back to his place, strips down, and poses for him.
All right, we'll call it a draw.
Oh, Walter. Of course, the next day he brings his new work over to Maxwell's house where everybody's hanging out to show his genius.
Walter, I can't believe it.
So impressed are they that Maxwell throws a party at Yellow Door for Walter. And he gets pretty inebriated on champagne. Carla gives him a little kiss. And everybody keeps asking him what he's going to do next. What's he going to do next? And Walter's now afraid if he doesn't do something, they might forget him. And then he passes a furniture store with a guy working the night shift.
Oh,
the humanity.
Ugh. It's getting worse. Well, flushed with his new artistic success, he races over to show it to DeSantis.
Read about the man who got cut in half. Extra, extra. Police can only find part of it.
Leonard.
What's the matter, Leonard?
You made a bust.
Ugh, things are getting out of hand here. DeSantis is trying to tell Walter to stop without revealing he knows how he's doing this. And when Walter says he won't, he decides that they'll have the show. They'll sell everything, getting rid of the evidence. And then Walter has to go into freeform. Walter agrees to the first part. Then, on the way to the show, Walter, who's escorting Carla, asks her to marry him. And she kind of has to explain she likes Walter. He's a nice guy, but she's not in love with him, and she won't marry him.
Would you let me make a statue of you?
Would you really like to? That'd make me very happy.
No, Walter! He's beyond hope at this point. Well, later, Carla finds out just what kind of statues Walter makes. Yeah, the one fly in Walter's plans. Clay doesn't last. It's very fragile. Well, of course, she's wanting to beat feet out of there.
Walter, there's a body inside that statue.
Oh, that's Alice. Don't you see, Carla? I made them immortal. Don't you see? I can do the same for you.
Of course, she runs for it, and Walter chases after her. But things are going downhill quick. Remember that other undercover cop? It's all over for him now. Well, the cop has DeSantis call headquarters for him. And then we find the weirdest conglomerate of good guy chasing after a bad guy collection.
Hey, man, what is the score?
Walter Paisley's a murderer.
Wow, man, I saw him chasing Carla down the street.
Now, wait a minute. How exactly are three beatniks the choice you have here? I mean, okay, the cop, yeah. Especially when Maxwell is wearing sandals with his tux. Sandals. Fits the character, though. Well, we get a spirited chase around a lumber yard. And while looking for Carla, Walter starts having a strange conversation.
Walter. No. They couldn't know. They're dead. How could they know?
Did you see him?
He's hiding around here someplace.
He can't hide just because we're in Clay.
Well, I think we all know Walter's gone for good. Well, with those voices chasing him, he makes his way back to his apartment where he figures out the one hiding space they'll never find him. Which is probably true, as when the police and the beatniks break into his apartment.
I suppose he would have called it Hanging Man. His greatest work.
I I know you're happy he's gone because what he did to the cat, but you can't keep blocking the camera like that. Quite a film. As I said, it's a little mean-spirited towards the Beatnik crowd, but it is very funny. Probably Corman's funniest of the three comedies, because there's a point to the jokes. It's not just surreal oddness like in Creature from the Haunted Sea, and just out-and-out silliness in Little Shop of Horrors. And this is a hard-hitting satire and a very, very black comedy. I mean, just the scene of him with the blood dripping down from his first human victim, and so many other things, and Walter's apparent dim-wittedness, as he seems to think it's okay for him to be doing all these crimes when everybody's appreciating the results. And his thinking, well, he says it's okay, but not knowing that they don't know what is inside those statues. Well, except for DeSantis, and he's playing dumb. That is one thing. There's a couple of subplots that don't get answered. Number one, the whole drug thing. That one's just like dropped halfway through. And it doesn't look like DeSantis is going to suffer any consequences of being an accessory after the fact, even though I guess he can play ignorance. Nobody else knew either. But, yeah, it kind of sticks in my craw a little bit. Nothing happens to him. And he gets, well, he probably doesn't get the 500 for the cat, but and when you think about it, nobody's going to go to that cafe anymore. He employed a murderer. So, if you extrapolate from the consequences, he probably loses his business. So, I guess that's something. But, yeah, a lot of good humor, especially at the expense of the Beatnik crowd. A lot of the dialogue comes from Corman and the writer Charles B. Griffith hanging out in those kind of Beatnik coffee shops and just taking notes, so that a lot of the dialogue does actually fit that slang. Although, oddly enough, Walter, who's not a beatnik, is the one who actually dresses as a beatnik usually did back then, with the jeans, the black shirts. But, you know, everybody else seems to dress like Sonny Bono with the furry jackets and stuff. But I enjoy this one. I find it a very well-made film. I know some people make fun of Corman, but he was a competent filmmaker. Yeah, he worked low budgets and short shooting schedules, but the one thing he always did that's always worked well is, especially if you look at like some of the scenes in It Conquered the World, he'll have a static shot set up, but he'll have different characters moving in and out of the shot as they talk, so that the film does have movement, even though the camera doesn't move, which is, it's a good idea and keeps the flow going. I think I might have mentioned that before. Yeah, well. But, and this is, it's, heinous as his acts are, Dick Miller makes Walter sympathetic throughout the film, even towards the end. That's how good an actor he is. I mean, he's the whole show here. Blows everybody else off the screen. Even Carbone, who probably gives the second best performance. But Dick Miller's amazing. Kind of wish he would have gotten more lead roles, because he's a really good actor. But, you know, no matter where he is in a film, he stands out. Great screen presence. Might have been his height. He was a rather small man. But anyway, Corman's best of his three comedies. Most hard-hitting. A little mean-spirited at times. And just skewers the pretentiousness of a lot of snooty art people. Yeah, I forgot. I was going to do a compare and contrast with Bloodbath from earlier this month. Well, this, of course, is a better made film. It's more steady, has a through line, steady through line. Mostly because Bloodbath is cobbled together from about three different films. Well, three different films. Three. And it's even worse in the TV version where they even add other scenes that were left out to get it up to a right length. And the skewering of the artistic world isn't quite as sharp and seems more silly at times than actually the skewering it gets here. Plus, those moments are, though amusing, the what's the word? Oh, geez, drawing a blank here. You know, the overall feel of the film. The comedy sticks out because it doesn't match the rest of the film, which is fairly serious and a little downbeat, and not in a kind of satirical way like in this film, but just overall. I'm losing my cape here. And Taz is getting hungry. See what I mean? Anyway, so yeah, this is the better film, the more enjoyable film, and one I really enjoy. Bloodbath, not so much. Although William Campbell does give a great performance, although Dick Miller's better here, even with a sillier character. So let's get back to the normal thing. Oh, and if the score does seem a little familiar, that's because it was originally written for this film by Fred Katz, a jazz musician. Another layer for the whole Beatnik thing. They were big on jazz. Kind of their way of thumbing their nose at the rock and roll generation. Anyways, he then rearranged the score when Corman contracted him to do a score for Little Shop of Horrors. And then, when he got contracted by Corman to do a score for The Wasp Woman, he then rearranged it. Thereby getting paid 3 times for the same score. Probably the only time Corman ever got taken. Usually he was the one who was better at getting something for cheap. Or reusing stuff so he didn't have to pay other people again. Anyways, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And as always, stay after credits for my favorite scene.
Why should you be so depressed? Have you heard the things they're saying? You can make $25,000 on these pieces alone.
I thought you put money down.
I do, but $25,000?
Leave me alone.